Alright, so this is another just really quick update. Haven't done like a whole lot since the last video, considering it was only like 2 days ago. But I did want to, just do a little bit of stuff. So since the last time, this link is no longer blue. That was like, just one line of CSS stuff. But looks a little bit better. And I changed the name because I've decided, I don't know if it makes sense to have all these different ones. I mean, I'll know I'll have this one, which will have military units, but also non-military units and what units I'm producing. So I figured it'd be better for people to create everything in here versus like, okay, I want to create an army, I'll go here. I want to create, let's see, where did I have it? Workers, I'll make them over here. I think it just feels better to have it all in one place. This is still filler stuff, but I'll show you in a second. It's not all filler stuff. And you'll notice on A tags, so links, it's got this like very slight transition. Like it's not, it just kind of fades a little bit just to kind of let you know it's a link. Barely noticeable, but I don't know. It's kind of like this one where it kind of fades in and out. Also, the resolution should be better than the last video. I'm working on a 1440p screen, which does not scale well to 1080. In OBS, I had it set up for streaming, so it downscales to 1080, but I'm not doing anything super intensive, so I've got it just straight up going to 1440. I also fixed some mic issues. NVIDIA broadcast was being like super weird and like making my voice pop a lot. So anyway, yeah. I've got all this stuff. None of this is built yet. It's all just fake stuff. One thing you might have noticed is the notification counter actually works now, which is great. So I can send a message. Say message. Send it to myself. Send it, and there you go. Now you can see the message counter everywhere. One really weird problem I was having was whenever I would go to this specific page not found, it would be the correct amount of messages plus one. And that was just like blowing my mind. I have no idea why that was happening. It took me for like 30 minutes to like pin it down, just console.logging on literally everything to figure out what was going on. And honestly, I can't even remember what was happening. But eventually I got that figured out. Now on every page you go to, even a page that doesn't exist, some random URL on the routers, it should work. Yep, still works. So my first approach was to use a middleware for Express, or sorry, to not use a middleware for Express. So on every single get, like app.get, I would put in, all right, get messages from the database and load it there. And that was really stupid. I don't even know why I thought of that idea because, I mean, eventually there's going to be, I don't know, 40 or 50 different app.gets because, there's a users page and every user, there's a home page and this page and that page, eventually this page, and that page might lead to another page. And so it would have been just insane to do it that way. So I just have an app.use that goes everywhere and on any page as long as the user is logged in, which the middleware that gets this runs before the user or right after the user logs in. So there'll never be a time where a user could be logged in and this couldn't exist. So I got that squared away. I mean, eventually you'll be able to like mark a message as read, or maybe when you click this, it goes in there and marks it as read, and then that notification counter won't be there anymore. But I don't really know. I mean, you can't even delete messages yet, which is obviously more important, higher priority. So first I'll just make it to where you delete a message and this goes down, but I'm not really focused on that. Honestly, I'd rather finish the rest of the game before I even come back to that. Writing a new note still doesn't work, but honestly, I'm kind of considering that to just be a feature that, maybe if later on it becomes, an option to pay for the game, that's a little bonus. I mean, to already have it here because I don't even have a place for them to go. I mean, I imagine I'll put them below here, or maybe when you hover the home tab, it'll pop up and have a place to go see them. But that's like really low priority. I mean, And also it'll take up a lot more database space. So in order to counteract that, I would probably have it be part of like some premium package of like playing the game, like not a subscription service necessarily, but you know, possibly. So that's way down the line. So I'll probably eventually like get rid of this until the rest of the game is finished, because right now, I'm pretty sure it'll post fine. Yeah, but see, I've got it right here. It just says coming soon because it literally doesn't do anything. Um, let's see. So, I'll go here first because in the last video, let me actually just open another Firefox tab and open the game up to just show you this. But the problem I was having last time is whenever another user loaded into the game, it would emit to the rest of like all the other users except for the one that just joined the entire chat history. So if I refreshed this page, this would stay the same, but then this one would have these three messages again and again and again and again. And as you can see, like that message I sent in the last video is still there. So we've got that permanence. It'll only go up to like 50 messages, I think. But basically, the problem was I'm using Socket.io in order to facilitate like live messages. So like with the inbox, if this user sends a message, well, I'm logged into the same account, but well, that doesn't really matter. I'll still send a message. Blah 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 blah. Send. So the counter goes up on this page because it just refreshed when it sent the post, but this one does not go up. You have to refresh, and then you will see the messages here. Whereas with a socket, that isn't the case. You just get it immediately off the bat. So what was happening is, yeah, every time a new user would join, it would emit to everyone all those messages. And it was really just a simple syntax error because all I had to do, instead of doing socket.emit, which emits to everyone except for the user that just joined, I use io.emit. Or maybe it was the other way around, I can't remember. Either way, now it only emits that to the user who it should be emitting to. So that works now. The only other thing that I've done is on the home page, the Army page is now called the Career Center. I'm not going to stick with that. It's just like all I could really come up with. It could be like unit page or I don't know, something like that. So this is new. Actually, it's not. I'm pretty sure it was already there last time. Not new. What is new is users actually being able to create. Okay, so I just went and rewatched part of my video from yesterday, and apparently this is not new. This was all already here. What is new is the minors, which are just a unit type that eventually will only be used to gather resources. And I'm kind of playing with the idea of them still being able to be killed when you're attacked. That's the difference between a lot of other like PBBGs or other web-based games. Is like if you have a unit type that is, only used for production or gathering resources, usually, they're like invincible. They aren't really calculated or taken into account when someone attacks you. But I don't really know. I think it'd be kind of cool. Um, you know, I think it would really incentivize people to be joining alliances and making friends and stuff because, I mean, and take ants for example. If your workers were able to get killed, you would probably play a lot safer, and be a little bit more aggressive. So I think that's kind of a cool way to do it. But obviously, shouldn't do any damage. The problem right now, I actually created, instead of like hard coding into Node the values for these kinds of things, so like how long it takes to make, the damage, the defense, whatever else I end up coming up with. And instead of hard coding that into Node, where I'd have to go there and change it, I just have a table in Postgres that says, okay, a scout, okay, that takes I think like 30 seconds to make one, and the damage is 5, the defense is 5. Same thing here, same thing here. But currently this is not like being taken from that. This I just typed this up. I don't even think I don't even remember if this is actually what it looks like inside of the data. I might have changed the values or something, but I think that'll be good. I'll get it from there instead of just hard coding it here, just typing it in. Because then if I, decide to change the value, I might leave it here, and that wouldn't be right. There just needs to be one place to have it. Kind of reduce the redundancy a little bit. This is accurate. I will probably not be working on the project this weekend because I need some time to think about how I'm going to do this. Because honestly, I have no idea. I could really use some help on this project if anyone would be interested. Oh, I did change one thing. It's red now. How cool is that? There's pretty much nothing else you can change on the slider. It is just an HTML thing that they do not want to look any different than this. So, I mean, I could change like the height and the. If I change the background color, it'll just look like this with like this ugly square slider instead of like this cool looking one that has like red. To kind of show where you are. Anyway, I'm really trying to figure out how resources will be gathered in this game, and it's going to take a lot of infrastructure to kind of figure out stuff. So, like for example, I explained the last time the way this works. Basically, say you want 968 scouts, you create an order. It sends an order to a table that knows it gets from a separate table. Okay, I know scouts take 30 seconds. So I'm going to say 30 seconds times 968. At least I think it's 30 seconds. It might be a minute. I can't remember. However much it would take to get it to be 8 hours. It puts that into an orders table. And then the game every 30 seconds, which is what I decided a tick would be, it goes into the orders table and says, hey, are there any orders that should be done by now? And if there are, it gives them to that user. So let me just give you an example while I'm talking. I'll put in, okay, I'll put in for 2. And that should take a minute. This won't update automatically, but it's automatically updating in the background. So you'll see in just a little bit where it'll say, done seconds ago or something like that. And basically the reason it does that is because it could already be done technically. Like it could be, say, for example, like 5:05 or 5:06 20 something, and a tick won't happen till then. And then it'll be inserted into the player's table. So that shouldn't really be much of an issue. But it's hard to figure out, okay, like let me say, for example, the way I would like for it to work is a couple times a day, maybe like 3 or 4 times a day, all of the miners that you have automatically go out and gather a resource. Maybe you could delegate some of them to a particular resource and some of them to another. But every, say, like, let's see, that order just went away. And now we have more scouts. I guess like 2 more than we had before. But I would like the miners to go out. You'll have miners, maybe they can gather, nitra or like coal or whatever else. Farmers that can gather food, etc. So each of those will go out and gather their respective resource, say a couple times a day, and give them to the user. But I can't decide how I'm going to do that because it's not really like an order like I have it set up here. Because in the way I have it set up, a user can have multiple orders for the same type of unit, and it could be at the same time, and it could be the same amount. But that shouldn't be the case with this. Like these should only be able to gather like one resource at a time, and eventually there'll be like a multiplier that, oh, your miners are 5% more efficient or like whatever. And eventually, if someone plays the game for long enough, it'll be like 30,000% more efficient or whatever. But I only want that to be able to happen once in whatever I decide, like a resource tick or whatever you want to call it should be. So I'm kind of having a hard time really figuring out how I'm going to do that. If anyone has any ideas, I would greatly appreciate some help. And if you know anyone that's got some database management skills, I'm willing to, you know, hire or just work with someone on this. Like that'd be fantastic. I like doing the front end stuff. It's a little bit annoying. I don't really like HTML that much, but I'm having a good time, using Node, and I'm even having a good time, like, figuring out the queries and figuring out where stuff needs to go and coming up with the game ideas. But honestly, like some of this stuff is like not making me want to quit, but making me want to take a break. But anyways, that's pretty much all I've got right now. Like this is an actual number in a database that has each user's resources. It's just I have not figured out a way that I would like for users to be able to obtain resources. Kind of looking for ideas for that, but this is what I got so far. This is not a game yet. It's just, you got the home page. I haven't put anything here yet. It'll be just as easy as getting it here, but all this is fake for now. I probably won't have the current production here because, as you can see, like you could have a lot of orders at the same time, so that would get cluttered pretty quickly. I probably will have the resources, each type of resource. I'm either going to do this. I guess, yeah, I can leave it like that, or I could just do, military or military size, and it just adds up. Or I could do how much damage your military can do, how much defense you have. I think I'm gonna do that instead of just a number, because a number doesn't really mean anything if you don't know what type of units you have. I just want to keep it concise here, and then you go in here and have some more specific details. None of this is doing anything yet. User profile still look the same. It's pretty much all I got. So if you are interested in helping on this project, feel free to let me know. I'm not hosting this publicly. I have it on a private GitHub repository, and I'm not interested in anyone taking this over. I've got paperwork for anyone who would want to help work on this project. And maybe if I eventually did make money on it, we could work out some kind of agreement. But for now, it's just something I'm working on and can use some advice. So I guess that's about it. See ya.